The Great Resignation. There are lots of people, millions of people who are leaving their jobs for better circumstances, especially this year. In fact, Microsoft did a study entitled The Great Disruption, where they learned that 41% of the people are planning who are planning to or wanting to leave their jobs. This is what repositioning is all about. Repositioning means to intentionally change the perception and to intentionally change the direction of you or your business. In fact, we saw a little bit about that today, this week. The big announcement with Facebook now becoming Meta, right? So check this out. According to the Wharton School of Business, their research showed that 4.3 million of Americans quit their jobs in August. They just quit. That's the highest number in like 20 years. Why are people leaving? Number one is burnout, right? How many of you are at a job that makes you feel exhausted just at the thought of going in? How many of you are counting down the minutes just to go on a break or to go on a lunch? How many of you are feeling like that? How many of you feel like when your lunch is micromanaged with just 30 minutes, which means really with the lunchtime being so short, you can't really start it until maybe your food is out the microwave. And then on Fridays can't come fast enough. You're counting the minutes down to 5 o'clock on a Friday. Well, you know what? You're not alone. There are people choosing to take a minute, self assess their life. And a lot of people have determined that this job right here, that the job that they're in, is not where they want to be. Now, not after having working remote for 20 plus months, now the company wants you to come back into the office, right? Come back into the office. Oh, that's not it. That's an extra 30, 45 minutes each way in traffic to commute for a job some of you don't really like that much. For a job that sometimes demonstrated that they don't see you as important. They just see you as a person in the seat to fulfill their goals, their needs. And you know what? It's not what you want in life. It's not what you want to do with your life. And a lot of people are realizing that. Why are people leaving? The truth is, a lot of people are leaving to find a better life, to be more fulfilled. And for a lot of them, that includes doing their own thing, right? So listen, when you're doing something you love, maybe choosing to work on a Friday, and I say choosing to work on a Friday, or being in a position to choose to work on a Monday, it feels great to work on those days by choice. It's a great feeling. It's a wonderful goal for a lot of us. Why are people leaving? Well, change is happening. And I spoke about change back in April. You can check that out on my YouTube channel, Stolard.com/YT. Why are people changing? It may have started with the pandemic, but during that time, the actualization and the realization that you're not any closer to your dream or your purpose than when you first started that job. You have, when you think about your career, they have you on a career path that's leading you to nowhere. They don't respect your knowledge, your education, your expertise. People are choosing to make a change. Steve Harvey talks about sometimes you just have to jump. Well, the last 22 months have shown us that sometimes working at a 9 to 5 where they don't treat you with the respect or the autonomy, they don't trust you, even though you've earned all that trust, is really just for the birds. So people are jumping. Some of you are jumping, and the rest of you, it's not your turn. Yes, some jobs give you a little time and a half when you're working more than 40 plus hours a week. And the truth is, you don't even like the job though. So why are people leaving? People feel like they're not winning as parents, and they're not even winning as their careers. So you spend time away from your family for a career that you don't like, that you don't love, they don't love you back, right? And then on top of that, it makes you feel like you're not even being as good enough parent as you could be. At least let me spend some time doing something that I love, something that I want to do. This has caused other people to, want to make a change. And maybe you should too. Imagine having to work 20, 30, 40 plus hours, 20, 30, or 40 plus years at a job. That's not your purpose. That's not your calling. It can cause you to feel utterly depressed. Now, a lot of our parents and grandparents did this, and they did this for us. And so we thank you for that. We thank you for that sacrifice. Working 40 plus years at one job, put a lot of food in our belly, and they did what they had to do. But now for some of us, we're not our parents, we're not our grandparents. So the thought of working 40 plus hours a year at one job for a job that doesn't even love you back, and now you feel like you're running out of time. It's time for you to dream big. Our generation, those of us are caught in the middle because we have like one foot connected to our generation of our parents or grandparents who worked the same job for 30 plus years to provide for us. My mom really wanted to be a lawyer, but that state paycheck was consistent and reliable, and she had 2 mouths to feed, while my dad was going to school. Then we also have the other foot, closer to the millennials and the Gen Zs, and some of them actually understand that maybe working 20 plus years at the same job that doesn't even love you or to love you back is not it. Some of us are conflicted, and it's understandable because we've been exposed to both frames of thought. I know one thing, it's time for you to dream big, and it's time for you to go after what it is you really want to do. Now, I spent 20 plus years working in IT, and I came to the realization that that kind of work I was doing was just no longer fulfilling. But I didn't even want to leave. I was working, 60 plus hours a week. And what I learned is that job didn't really love me back. No matter how much effort or how many hours I put in or how many special projects or top rankings I got, the job didn't love me back. And some of you may be familiar with my story. Some of you may not, but even after being in the top of my department, I was let go to downsizing. I was let go due to downsizing. Can you imagine that? And it was shocking at the time. I didn't even see it coming, but I had to take a second and realize that, what I really wanted to do was business, marketing, entrepreneurship. That was my passion. That's what I wanted to. That's what I used to spend my my time off and daydreaming about, that I really wanted to do, that direction. So I had to reposition myself, intentionally change the direction and intentionally change the perception of you or your business. I had to properly set goals. I had to set goals to get all of my degrees that I have now. I had to set and achieve goals to begin working on myself. And I had to set goals to begin working for myself. Why are people leaving? They feel that they're running out of time. Just like you feel right now. They're burnt out at their current job. Just like you feel right now. They want you to reposition. It's time for you to reposition yourself. They want to reposition themselves so they can spend more time with their family. That's why people are leaving, and be in careers that they truly want. That's why people are leaving, That also puts them in a position to serve others in the way that they want to serve, in the way that they want to do it. Just like I know you want to. With all those millions of people who are leaving or have already left their job, a lot of them want to do a completely new career, and that's a beautiful thing. Others want to take ownership of their expertise and embrace their entrepreneurship. It's also a beautiful thing. We've been talking about that for some time. It's a common challenge for a lot of people. They've not taken the time to properly set their goals so they can achieve their goals. And it comes down to goal setting. A lot of people want to jump into a new thing without a plan on how to get there. Now is the time for you to change direction or to change your perception for you or your business. That is repositioning. I've been talking about change and that it's coming now, and now it's already here. Again, if you check out my YouTube page, mstolard.com/YT, you'll see that I was talking about back in April about the change that's coming, the change that's actually here right now. And you can check the details on that on my page. But some of you who may have seen my post this week talk about achieving goals. So here are 3 quick strategies to get you started. First, it's important to understand that a goal is defined as a desired result or desired outcome. That could be, I want to leave my 9 to 5 and work for myself. But goal has to be specific, which means it has to be clearly defined. So I'm going to give you 3 quick strategies. So number 1, you must write your goal down. This is biblical. Write down the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. Write down the vision and make it plain on tablets, which means, you can take notes on your iPad if need be, right? It's funny that the Bible was talking about tablets back then. But listen, you need to dream big. Quit thinking small. T.D. Jakes talks about stop telling your big dreams to small-minded people, because sometimes people can't see your vision, right? Dream big. Dream so big that it scares you. Imagine leaving your job in 18 months. Imagine, imagine that. Does it scare you? Right? I'm not saying leave your job without a plan. I'm not saying you leave your job tomorrow. I'm talking about 18 months from now. You set a goal with a specific plan, right? And then you go after it, right? You set a goal, make a specific plan to achieve that goal, and you go after it. You go after it with everything you have. There's a gentleman by the name of Pat Bracco, right? And he was 605 pounds. And he started walking to Walmart. He made a decision, he made a plan to go walk to Walmart every time he got hungry. So he walked 1 mile that way and another mile back with his food. So check this out. He did that 3 times a day. That's 6 miles, right? At 605 pounds. He made a specific plan to achieve whatever goal he had set during that time. And guess what? Within 18 months, he lost 200 pounds. So the first strategy for you is to write down your specific goal. And number 2, set a date and time to accomplish your goal. Now, not just I want to leave my job, but I want to leave my 9 to 5 within 18 months and work for myself full time, right? I plan to do this by November 2022. I plan to do this by November 1, 2022. You know, some of you get bonuses at the beginning of the year, so you may need to adjust it and say, you know what, my plan is to leave my 9 to 5 March 1, 2023. And that's completely fine and understandable, you know. So now your plan of action is a much better plan because you've added a deadline to it. And number 3, and this is my final goal and setting for you today. This is my final goal setting strategy for you today. What is your why? Yes. What is your why? Simon Sinek wrote the book, Start With Why. Check it out if need be. It's not enough to say you want to leave your job. It's not enough to say you want to leave your job within 18 months from now. It's not enough to make a plan of action to go after your goal. Those things are just not enough. If you don't have a reason for your why, if you don't have a reason for why you're doing it, the reason having a why is so important is because when you set a specific goal, it gets tough. It gets hard, right? It's a lot of work. And your why is going to help you get back up. Your why is going to encourage you to keep pushing forward. When people are telling you it's not enough, when people have told you, I don't believe you've done any work, I don't believe you deserve what you earned, your why is going to get you back up and help you keep pushing forward. Your why is going to lead you to cross the finish line. What is your why? Maybe you have a 6-month-old. Maybe you do it for your parents. What is your why? Maybe you do it to prove others when you can't, right? It was known not to talk mess to Michael Jordan during his time, right? If you talk mess to him, and you gassed him up, he was going to turn it on you. Michael Jordan used those people who were talking to mess to fuel his why, right? And in those moments, he kicked it up top notch. Kevin Garnett was talking mess about Michael Jordan. But guess what? He was talking to his teammate, J.R. Ryder. It's a popular story. You may have even heard of it, right? They were playing for the Timberwolves at the time. Michael Jordan heard him. Kevin Garnett wasn't even talking to Michael Jordan directly. Michael Jordan just heard him, right? He heard him. And that's all it took for him to go from 18 points, right, to scoring 17 points with like 6 or 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. So find your why. I'm committing myself to helping just a few people who want to directly help with goal setting, properly setting and achieving your goals. Reach out to me, send me a DM or an email, post a comment, and we can discuss the details. But y'all have a great day. And remember, determine your why.